Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Hawkins. I'm here with Jason Pantana, and we're super excited that this is our first week that we're live here on Facebook. We're going to be setting up a separate page, so stay tuned for the details on that. But today we're on my Facebook page and we're live, but definitely make sure that you go to Jason's page as well and make sure that you're giving him love on his page as well. We've got tons of questions that we're planning to answer today, so we're super excited. If you have any more questions, comments, or whatnot while we're here, definitely comment your questions and we will try our best to get them answered. If you're watching this live video after we've already gone live, then definitely still make the comments and we will plan to ask. We'll plan to. But yeah, we'll plan to cover those on future episodes. So Jason, do you want to just say a couple words about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Jason Pantana. Pumped to be here. This is going to be a fun conversation. So Jonathan and I, we've become buddies over the past year or so, and we just found that we really love talking about marketing, real estate marketing specifically, but really from a business ownership, entrepreneurship standpoint. We love talking marketing. We both teach on marketing in a lot of different ways. And so this was a cool, fun opportunity just to kind of stay connected with what are the questions and ideas that are floating around in terms of the real estate space and have a chance to really go at it and dive deep in all things marketing, just because that's what we're passionate about.
Definitely.
So definitely. I'm on Instagram, Jason Pantana. It's like Santana with a P, and on Facebook. Would love to connect with you on either platform. Well, I think my name's probably on the screen from you putting it there, but anyway.
It is definitely on the screen. Yeah, it's on the screen.
You guys can read.
And before we start goodness sakes, why do you keep saying asking questions? Before we start answering questions, I just wanted to say hello to Tony, Paige, Randy, Shannon, Chuck, Michael, Judy, Rich, Jake. For the people that are on the left of me on Instagram, we are filming this live through Facebook. So definitely check us out on Facebook and we can answer. I'm going to say that every single time, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of, you want me to just tag me in. We're going to
go to Facebook. And, but yeah, definitely thanks for whoever's here. Thank you for watching. If you can hear us, hopefully you can hear us. Make sure that you comment that you can hear us. So that way we know that we're not talking to a wall at this point.
Totally.
And maybe you didn't hear me say that I'm going to ask myself questions 3 times.
I think you should ask yourself some questions during the course of this conversation. Jonathan, what do you think?
Yeah, that might work. So the first question actually that we have comes from Jennifer Turberfield. And her question was, how do you create a social media posting calendar? And she had another question, but her first question was, how do you create a social media posting calendar? Do you have any words on that one, Jace?
I do. Okay, so that question could be interpreted. Hi, Jennifer. I hope you're having a great day. That question could be interpreted a couple of ways. Is she looking for a software, like a scheduling software or like an editorial calendar software? But I think what she's really asking is, hey, I want to use social media to the max in my business. What's going to be a calendar or a set schedule that's the way to go in terms of the frequency with which I post? When do I do a video? When do I do a piece of content or whatever? I think that's where she's coming from. You may have a different perspective on what she's asking, and you can hit that in a second. I was thinking about that earlier today when I read through the questions. And what occurred to me first is there's a logical sequence of, your own questions that you should be asking yourself, which is beginning with, what is the content I want to create? Because I think what a lot of people do in real estate is they look at this treadmill of Facebook, the treadmill of Instagram. How do I create enough content to fill, posting every day and keeping up with these minimums of I got to post all the time or it doesn't work? And I think that's kind of like daunting to think of it through that perspective. And so what I would say is there's going to be a level of spontaneity in your social media. Like you go out to dinner, you do something fun or whatever, and you're going to post about it. It wasn't planned. It doesn't need to be planned. It just needs to happen organically because that's you living your life or whatever. But from a business standpoint, I would say, what's my minimum offering in terms of how much content? And by content, I mean videos, posts, photos, anything like that. What do I want to post on a regular basis, like say every week? And you might say, well, you know what? I really want to go live once a week, something that's live streaming. I might want to create maybe every other week some type of an actual produced video. And you might say, I want to post something every day. It could be a shared article. So how many days is it a shared article? I think you start with the question of what is the content I want to create on a regular basis? What a lot of people do is they say, I want to create a weekly video show. And then poof, because of that, they're now on a trajectory to say, well, if I want a weekly video show, like what we're doing right now, then I've got to come up with a set number of, well, I've got to use this Instagram story to promote it. I've got to do this to promote it. And you're creating extra posts around just doing the one video a week. So I would say like, this is sort of my, not complicating it approach. When it comes to a social media calendar, I would say, what is the content you want to release on a weekly basis? There's no right or wrong answer. You can make it up. You can say, I want to do one photo, one video, and one text post a week, whatever it is. You can make it up. We typically recommend posting daily, but I would say, what is the content you want to create and then build around that? Does that make sense, Jonathan?
Yeah, it made sense. I too don't know exactly whether or not she was looking for somebody else to do it or if she's doing it, but definitely that makes sense. What I personally did just a few weeks ago was I just went onto Excel and I just created a basic calendar as far as, on this specific day, this is who's going to post what. On that specific day, this is, the type of post. And I didn't want to get too technical as far as the posts are concerned. Right. I wanted to, leave some creativity, leave some room, not force myself to post something so specific that if I didn't have that image or video that I would still have to post it and it would be bad content, bad quality or whatnot. Right. So yeah, I mean, I would just literally get a piece of paper and just say on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, these are the types that I want to do. And this just try to stick to that at first. And then you can get a little bit more advanced, but
well, in terms of what I normally teach in terms of how much is business focused content, if I'm running a business versus if it's a personal profile, how much is personal, I'll typically say 2 for 1 is a good ratio. So if I'm on my personal profile, for every 2 posts, I earn 1 business focused post, 2 personal focused, 1 business focused. You don't have to live by that. It's just some kind of a ratio to say really what should govern the way I go about doing my social media. And I think if she is looking for like some scheduling, there are some pretty elaborate editorial tools out there, but I would say Excel is the way to go. Honestly, just put it on Excel or a Word doc. I really would. There are some great scheduling software. I doubt this is what she was asking, but in the event she was, there's Hootsuite, Sprout Social, Buffer, Later. There's companies like that where you can use them to kind of schedule out your post. And of course, if you're doing a Facebook business page, it itself can do that for you.
There you go. Her second question, which was also the same question that we received from multiple people, was a little bit different as far as no longer the social calendar, but how exactly, if she's, setting up Facebook posts and one of those Facebook posts are, let's say, good, what would be the recommendation as far as how to turn that post into an ad?
Okay, so I'm reading her question. So I wrote down, how do you run an ad on Facebook step by step? Is that the question she was asking?
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
So there were some other questions we're going to get to in a minute. Can I kind of pull those in?
Yeah.
Sort of. So there were some people asking what's the difference between a boosted post and running a Facebook ad. And so I think to answer Jennifer's question, we need clarity around that, just so that everybody's like using the same terminology. And I think like a boosted post is an ad. It's totally an ad. However, there is a difference between it. And I would say rather than let's give some different labels. Rather than saying a Facebook boosted post and an ad, I would say a Facebook boosted post versus what's called a Facebook dark post. A dark post is really simply just saying, you might have heard that term, a Facebook dark post, but it basically means I'm running an ad on Facebook. And the reason it's called dark is because it doesn't actually show up on my page timeline. So what we're talking about with Jennifer is not a boosted post. Anybody who has a Facebook page and has run a boosted post, all they know is they post the regular old way, whatever they posted, and they click the button that says boost it. Slide that.
So I think that's gonna go into Shane's question, which is what post to boost? Is that where you're going into?
Well, I'm setting it up and I'm gonna table
it
and then sliding over to the ad itself.
Got it.
Actual Facebook ad, which is also called a dark post. The step-by-step is you go to facebook.com/ads manager, ADS manager. Every single page, like yours, the one they're watching on, like mine, the one they're going to follow, every single page has a Facebook Ads Manager account. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/ads manager. You will already be logged in on your browser. From there, there's a big green button in the middle of the screen and it says create. You click the button that says create. Once you do that, it opens up a window and you enter into the actual sort of the wizard to create an ad on Facebook. An ad is just a post on Facebook, but the key difference is, and we're going to circle back to this, the key difference is people don't see it on your page. In other words, if you start scrolling through your page to see where that post I run, the ad I ran, where is it? You're not going to see it on your page because it's dark in the sense that it's only going to be visible in the news feeds of the people, whoever you target. It's not going to be on your page. Making sense to you, Jonathan?
Yeah. It's making sense. I think what we can do in a future week is obviously all of these topics, we could probably talk about them for, I don't know how long, but we could talk about them for a while, but maybe one week we can actually just break down step by step how to do, a Facebook ad, how to do whatever these questions are going to lead us to.
Yeah, super high level, you click create, and then you follow the wizard. And the wizard walks through 3 main stages. First stage is you choose an objective. Do I want people to click a link? Do I want them to watch the video? What do I want? And then you basically just say, who do I want to target? What's my audience? And the last step is you basically build the post. What photos you're going to use? What's the copy that you put in the text? That's it. So it's facebook.com/ads manager, press create, follow the prompts. That easy enough?
There you go. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll go to the next individual, which was Shane DeLuca. He then asked, what posts do I boost?
Right.
And I loved using the example that dear Tammy Pack used.
She's a rock star.
And I tell everybody about this. I put her name at the bottom of the screen, Tammy Pack. And she uses a phenomenal example when it comes to specific posts that you should boost versus posts that obviously you shouldn't boost. And her example is very basic, but it definitely makes sense. You're always doing tons of different posts. You've got your calendar going and you're doing your Monday post, your Tuesday post, your Wednesday post. And then on Thursday, you do your post. But for whatever reason, whatever reason it is, this post has, let's say, 4 times the normal engagement, 4 times the comments or views or combination of the both. She uses the analogy of a donkey and a unicorn. Yes, that was correct. Donkey and unicorn. I'm going to put that on the screen so you know that I did say donkey and unicorn. Donkey and unicorn. So the donkey posts are the posts that you're always doing. They're on your calendar. You're still giving it 100% effort. But that unicorn post is that post that you posted. It's got phenomenal engagement, phenomenal views. And that is going to be how we are going to answer your question, Shane, which is what post do I boost? You want to boost the unicorns. So the ones that got phenomenal engagement, throw a budget behind it. The ones that have the phenomenal views that you want more people to see, throw money behind it. Now, the caveat is if you post something that is, just some viral video or whatnot, and there's already tons of views and tons of things, happening, you don't necessarily want to just boost that because you have to ask yourself the question, what is your goal? If you're boosting it to get business and you think it's going to help, great. If you're boosting it just to get views, whatever it is, don't just start boosting all the posts that have phenomenal views or phenomenal engagement. And I will also give a shout out to Mr. Ray Ellen because what I saw Ray do which is something I thought was awesome as well, is he posted a video a few days ago on his Facebook page.
I saw it. That listing video.
It was awesome, but what he said in a forum was something that I never even thought about. Before he posted it in the forum, he said, I've already calculated what my organic views are. So I already know the amount of views that I got from my page. And now I'm going to boost it in this group, or not boost it, excuse me, share it to this group, share it to this other page. And the reason he did that is he shared it into a real estate group that we were going to watch the video, but he didn't want to have, 5,000 realtors watch it and then go and boost the post thinking that 5,000 of his neighbors watch this video and, waste his money. So, he calculated his, what's up?
He's clear about the objective.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Shane.
Can I go, I love the idea of donkey unicorn. I want to go one deeper. Can I go one deeper on this one?
Yeah, definitely.
I think this is a big topic. Do I boost it or do I go with what's called the dark post? So the main difference is a boosted post, it's still an ad, but it's like you do it after the fact. You make the post on your Facebook page. Wow, that was a really great post. I'm going to boost it. And it's just going to basically pay Facebook to put that.
See, now you're messing up too. That's not just me.
Over, right? It's spilling over. You're now paying Facebook for other people's attention at that point in time who maybe aren't connected with your page for one reason or another. And it will always and forever be on your page, on your timeline on your page. If you do a post directly in the ads manager, it will never be on your timeline. It doesn't exist. It's kind of a dark post. It's pretend in the sense that Facebook only shows that particular ad to people in their news feeds. It doesn't live anywhere, if that makes any sense to everybody. So I think you have to use the discretion to say, if this is a post that I want to live on my timeline, maybe I put it there. Now, here's a special trick. One of the benefits I think of using the ads manager versus boosting a post, when you boost a post, it's basically going to just, Facebook's going to optimize in terms of who sees that content, probably based upon hearts, likes, comments, engagement, things, maybe page likes. If you run an ad out of your ads manager, back to Jennifer's question, you can get a lot more tactical in terms of what do you really want to have happen with your post. Do you want people to click a link to your website? Do you want to optimize for video views? What do you want people to do? Which is so you're paying Facebook for them getting you what you want, essentially, versus just more hearts, likes, and engagement or whatever. So the reason I like the ads manager is you can get more tactical, but what's cool is when you do an ad in the ads manager, you can actually run an ad using a video you already posted on your page. It's not a boosted post. It's just kind of a workaround. Does that make sense, Jonathan?
Yes, it definitely makes sense. And I like that you said that the ad doesn't go on the page, which I don't know why I never realized that, but it doesn't go on the page. So it's something that you necessarily don't need eating up your timeline, and not something that you want everybody to see. Not that it's a bad post, but if it's for a specific audience, maybe it doesn't need to live on the timeline.
Yep.
So hopefully that answered your question, Shane. Again, this is another just question that I think that in the future, what we can do is, as we continue to have more questions, and speaking of questions, we have tons of questions that I'm getting. So if you have questions, definitely post them on the Facebook page. Ask your questions and we will try and get them answered. Juan, Sharon, Deborah, Jesse, Jessica, thanks for tuning in. We see you. We appreciate you. So definitely, if you have questions, we will try and get them answered. And again, if you're watching this and it's no longer live, still post your comments, or your question as a comment, and I'll ask a question, and Jason will answer it, because I don't know how to say answer.
You'll get this. You'll get the hang of it, man. Just hang in. Keep at it.
So we will go to Melissa Morgan and Jeremy Applebaum. Kind of have what I think is similar question, which Melissa Morgan asked, how do I, quote, follow people when they leave my site? And one of Jeremy Applebaum's questions was, how do I set up a pixel? Which can fall into kind of the same questions for some of it. So do you want to open that up on how do people get followed?
So how do they get followed? So first of all, let's give that a term. The term is interchangeable. It's remarketing or retargeting. Remarketing or retargeting. And the way I refer to retargeting, people typically think of, oh, I'm on thesaurus.com, amazon.com, and I keep seeing little display ads on the banner up top or on the sidebar, and it's following me around the web, for instance. What that is you went to a website, like let's say you're trying to buy a Dyson vacuum cleaner. You were on Amazon looking at the Dyson vacuum cleaner, or maybe you're on Dyson's website, and then you left and they put cookies on your browser. I'll explain how to do that in a second. And then they have the ability to basically follow you from website to website as you maneuver through the web. This is called retargeting, but that's only one specific aspect of retargeting. Retargeting or remarketing, they really mean the same thing for all intents and purposes. What it is basically is marketing follow-up. somebody came to your website and you can re-engage with them on some level. It's more than just display ads. So the little boxes that you see on sidebars and sticky banners, those are called display ads. That's one aspect of remarketing. It can also be I'm getting more Facebook ads in my newsfeed because I'm on a remarketing list. It could be that I'm actually doing keywords on Google and you can do keyword remarketing. So remarketing is basically like the broader definition of it is somebody has come into contact with your website or your content at some point. They agreed to receive cookies in their browser, and then you have the ability to remarket to them. That's the first thing. To do that, you already gave the one, which is I'll let you explain the Facebook Pixel in a second, but there's a couple of remarketing codes that you'll need to get. One is Google's, one is Facebook's, and then also like LinkedIn has one. So you can write these down someplace, or maybe you want to put them on the screen, Jonathan. There's the Facebook Pixel.
Yep.
There's what do they call it? I think they call it Google Ads code now. They just changed the name, or Google Ads.
They just changed it from I think it's just Google Ads, but the code, I think it's the analytics code.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I have on my website is from Google Analytics, but I think you can just Google
Google code,
search Google Ads remarketing code, and it will take you directly to where you need to get it. The other one is the LinkedIn Insight tag. So I think that's what it's called. I think I got it right.
Got it on the screen.
Wow. So what happens with these? So like Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn. In fact, I'm going to toss the mic to you, Jonathan. I'm talking too much.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think that, again, I just think that what we can do in future weeks is probably just get one topic like this, and then maybe we can set something up to where if people want something that we can send to them, to try and help them.
Maybe we do this, just a thought. Because we're kind of creating this as we go. Let's do like everybody write their questions that maybe we do or don't answer, whether you're watching live or later. And then let's do a poll and we'll pick like the top 2 or 3 questions and let people vote on them. That way we can have a bit more of a focused conversation going forward. What do you think?
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Yeah, I think that's super easy to do. And some of these questions, there was actually more questions, but they kind of tied in with a lot of different themes, and I tried and tied some of them in, but yeah, I definitely think that that's exactly how we can do it, and I think it's pretty easy. And again, I'm posting things on the screen, and hopefully you see those. But what we can do also is, let's say we're talking about how to set up a Facebook ad. Jason and I can, maybe do just a very easy PDF with a couple of screenshots. And then afterward, you guys can go and download that, because I definitely know just by watching a live video with 2 minutes talking about how to set up a Facebook ad is probably not helping as much as you'd like it to be.
Click the green button.
Yeah, just go Google how to set up a Facebook ad. Thank you. You guys no longer need us. No, I'm kidding.
Well, so real quick, back to this. So like the 3 things that you need to get installed on your website.
Oh, I can talk about that if you want. I think you bounced it to me, but then I didn't say anything.
No, go to you.
So Jason was talking about the Google, we'll call it ads code, the LinkedIn Insights code, which I don't know anything about, and the Facebook Pixel. And those are 3 different codes, snippets of code that get installed in your website. And if you have just a basic WordPress, it's going to go in the header. If you have, some of the other bigger, all-in-one platforms, they usually have just actual spots for you to post
like
those.
Curator, and like in the settings, it just says remarketing code. And you just paste the code in there and it's done.
Yeah, I have Sierra Interactive, and it's Google, Facebook, whatever codes that you want. But not getting too advanced, but if you were to, let's say, post your Facebook Pixel in the header of your website, what that means is that no matter what page that specific person is viewing on your website, your code is going to be there. So if they click on the sell page, your code is there. If they click on the buy page, your code is there. If they click on the contact page, your code is there. Now that's where it's going to start getting a lot more advanced, because based off of the specific pages, based off of the specific content that you have on your website, that's how you're going to quote unquote follow people, Melissa. For example, if you had somebody that clicked on a Facebook post that says something along the lines of getting a free home evaluation, and they clicked on that, Well, they're now going to have been on your page that is melissamorgan.com/home valuation.
Yep.
Well, those are the people that you're going to quote unquote follow. And the way you're going to follow them is by putting an ad in front of only the people that clicked on this specific page, show them X ad. And does that make sense, Jason?
It does make sense. I mean,
Okay.
this is one of those topics where it's kind of complex, but at the end of the day,
yeah, this is the topic where we talk about for a month.
It's just ones and zeros. That's all it is. And we see it's just ones and zeros. And so what a pixel or a tag or a code, what these things are is just like little paragraph size strings of gibberish. They're code. All you have to do is click copy and paste. And there's actually like Facebook has a thing called the Facebook Pixel Helper, and it will literally just walk you step by step how to do it. It sounds complicated. It's not hard to do it, especially if you're using a website. Like most of the popular websites, the boom towns of the day, those kinds of things, most of these websites make it super easy. And Facebook and Google, they make it pretty easy just to go grab the code. Here's what I would say is you get everybody who has a Facebook page, it comes with a pixel, for instance. So you get one code. You can put your code on as many websites as you can. That's fine. But you get one code for your page. And it's basically what allows when somebody comes to your website, you're letting Facebook and the browser and everything are working together to follow that person through the web so you can remarket to them for later. I think that makes sense. This is a complex subject matter. I don't want to dismiss it because of that, because it does matter. I would say if anybody's looking for some good reading, there was an email that came out from Facebook. I don't know if you've noticed, and I'm still digging into this to figure out exactly the lines, but a lot of websites now have the disclosure policy where you have to accept or agree to having the cookies placed in your browser. And I think that's going to factor into people's ability to do remarketing on their websites. So if you're doing a lot of Facebook remarketing using the Pixel, I would look into some of the new changes to their policies in terms of your website potentially having to disclose that you're putting out cookies. Just as I'm still researching that one. Not
only that, but a lot of people, I know that we're setting up, or they still might be having Facebook ads running, with some of the targeted behavior, such as likely to move or likely to sell. And there's tons of third-party data, including those that are no longer working on Facebook. So, there are other ways. And Juan Ortiz even said it. That'd be awesome if you guys can do an episode on how to target, how to, do a targeted ad and whatnot, because it's super easy. And there's tons of different workarounds. So although the likely to move is no longer there, if we can set up a Facebook pixel on your page that's specific to the, home browsing page, then probably those are people that are likely to move. And then that's kind of how we work around it. So it's not as, I don't want to say easy, but it's not as accessible to just click likely to move anymore.
Let's say that
you have to do a little bit more work.
Yeah. Well said.
Which is great. That's actually, you should not be scared. You should think, wow, if I just have to do these couple of things, then there's so many other people now that, they had it so easy that they just clicked likely to move. And now that no longer works. I'm going to be the one that knows how to do it in a different way. And you should definitely not look at that as, Facebook ads don't work and they're not as good as anymore, because there should be less people doing them now, which should help you out. So
yeah, it actually just gave you that upper hand if you can figure out a smarter way to get to the consumer and give them what they want when they want it. So yeah, we should totally do a deep dive on that. That'd be good.
We have Deborah, Natalie, Yitzi, Mark, Pierre. Come on, since our last shout out. So thank you for joining us. We are answering your questions, and we are going to the next topic, which Jason is going to touch on, which is from Deborah Marsden.
Okay.
And she wanted you to just kind of touch on geofarming. Maybe if you can give, let's say, 2 tips, some good things, or maybe some mistakes that you've heard of people make.
Yep. All right. So geographic farming, which is basically to say, so the question was really broad, so I'll try to find one of the things. It's fine.
Geofarming. Talk about it now.
It's a good place to start. I'm not criticizing, but we'll try to find 1 or 2 specific actionable things to take away with farming. So quick, what is farming? Farming, for most people know, it's basically I want to target homeowners or home buyers or both who live in a particular spot. It could be a particular zip code. It might be a building, a combination of buildings. It could be an entire county. Point is a defined geographic area. And then it becomes a question. And so like the goal of a farm is essentially to build up trust. Most of the time, a geographic farm will take between 1 year to 2 years to produce any type of results. And those results typically come about because you have been consistent in terms of marketing yourself, positioning yourself in front of the homeowners there. Now, there are lots of ways to do that. I think a lot of people just assume that when they say farming, they're talking about direct mail.
Yes.
And that's really not what it is. I mean, that's part of what it is. Actually, I got into a little bit of a technical conversation yesterday that we call it direct mail. And I think we're actually using the wrong term, because direct mail is typically a very calculated campaign where you get a direct response. That's not really, this is drip mail is what's happening in a farm. So it's consistent outreach over time, because the job of a farm is for people to think of you as the dominant agent in the marketplace. So real quick, standard strategies include things like sending mail twice a month. You could do postcards, you could do oversized postcards, you could do letters, whatever. That's a standard practice, is mail twice a month. You could hand deliver it. You could hire a delivery service. You could use the mail, whatever. But I want to go beyond. I want to talk about modern farming in terms of what are other agents doing that's a bit more, I think, innovative and 21st century, so to speak. And I have no qualms with I call it direct mail, with drip mail. It's a great way to reinforce and stay in touch with people. Things I'm seeing a lot of people do is the Icanza. It's some type of a sponsored event where what I'm seeing is a lot of dominant agents create like Kyle Whistle does this really well. He does this barbecues. I'm thinking of Judy McHale out in Connecticut. She does this really well too. See, what Judy does with Coldwell Banker in Connecticut is every year in her farm, she puts on this thing called a kitchen crawl, and it's awesome. The kitchen crawl is basically she and maybe another broker will find 3 to 5 listings. They're usually luxury listings. They'll work with the local food blogger, get an amazing chef to come into each of the houses. They'll prepare a meal and they sell tickets, and the ticket sales all go toward a charity. Last year, they sold like 400 tickets. They'll have a party bus that will deliver people between the houses. And so I'm not getting into all the details. Just take my word for it.
All I heard was party bus.
What was that?
I said party bus.
Well, actually, so last year she had Tesla Club. Tesla Club sponsored and drove people between the properties. It was brilliant. Wow. I would say one thing I'm seeing that's kind of innovative in a farm is events, because when she does an event like that, she becomes like the absolute dominant rock star premier agent, hands down. When you do something like that, stands out. Other tactics I'm seeing are, there's a term called geo-filtering. It's basically saying, hey, Facebook, hey, Google, when you run my ads, make sure people who live here see my ads, whatever, like they could be videos or whatever. So I would say like going digital with your farming in terms of having regular recurring, not always the same ad, because this actually goes back to what you said, which is people may not be as likely to click the What's Your Home Worth ad because you can't filter anymore by likely to move or whatever. So that may not be a relevant thing for them, but still you might be creating videos, lifestyle videos, things like that. So I would say when you're running content on Facebook, it could be videos, whatever, you should target that toward people in your farm. At the end of the day, just keeping this thing super simple. A farm is just people who live here. And then it's a question of what are all the things I could do? I could go door knocking. I could send them mail. I could do events. I could do open houses. I could do ads on Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, whatever. You've got all these options. And it's really just, how do I want to kind of put together my cornucopia of all the things I could do? Does that make sense?
Definitely makes sense. And again, thank you for everybody that is commenting. If you have questions, definitely put them in the comments. We are going to touch on one more topic today, but I did want to say thank you to Andrea Dwayne, Karen Provencher, Asdis from Iceland, Luz Abreu from Miami, Danya, and Zach Nelson. You all put a question in. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to it. Some of them were pretty broad, but your questions are definitely annotated and they will get covered eventually. So definitely make sure that you guys are tuning in on Thursdays as we go live, because we are going to be answering these questions. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to post these questions / topics in a poll for you guys to vote on what specific things you want covered. And then, I think that's going to be our best case there. So the last topic that we are going to talk about briefly comes from Denise Fisher, which was talking about lighting and sound to use for live videos. And the flip side of that is whether or not you should be using the same things or different things for an interview. So I can talk about.
This one's you.
What's up?
This one's all you.
Yeah, I could definitely talk about that. So as far as lighting and sound and whatnot are concerned, I would definitely say to you, Denise, and anybody out there that's either that's thinking about, what things they need to buy on X site, the fact that you're going live, is already put you quite a few steps probably in front of the majority of people. The fact that you can actually hit the live button means that you've already taken the step to say, hey, the camera's going to look at me. It's going to show me who I am in present day, exactly how I look, and that's okay. So that's already a huge accomplishment, because there's tons of people that cannot just hit the live button and actually go live. And the reason that you do want to hit the live button on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, is because of the fact that all of the specific algorithms on those pages are based off of engagement, to make it in simplest terms. And when you're going live, your live videos are getting the most engagement. They're organically getting pushed to your audience for them to tune in. So for instance, I have people to the left of me on my Instagram live. There's hundreds of people watching me right now, because my live video is at the top of their feed saying, hey, Jonathan Hawkins is live. So I just wanted to say, the fact that you're going live, no matter what lighting, no matter what sound, for the most part, the fact that you're going live has already put you, a few steps ahead. Now, if there's crazy wind going on, if you're in a cave and the quality's bad and you can't see yourself and there's absolutely no light and whatnot, obviously those are going to be times that probably the live button is not going to work out best for you. But as far as actually answering your questions, I don't know if I have a specific answer to say, what is the best or what is the worst or this or that. But there's definitely things that you can invest in to assist you. And there's things that you can just take into consideration also to help you out. So for example, I'm here sitting in my office, and there's usually phenomenal light that is natural in my office. But right now there's a huge glare on my window. So if I were to open my shades, the light would just be blinding me. So, being conscientious of the glare, I just put the screen down. But as far as what we're doing, as far as lighting is concerned, the only thing that I'm doing outside of just the recessed lighting above me is I have this little thingamajigger, whatever, little small halo light. So you can see it here on the screen. And this little halo light is like $10 on Amazon, that I essentially just clip to my desk. And it helps me with lighting. There's tons of little things that are out there. The sound, I'm personally using the Blue Yeti microphone right now, but obviously you're not going to be carrying a Blue Yeti microphone when you're out in front of 123 Main Street or whatnot. So there are definitely some other sources out there. You can just easily buy a lavalier mic. It's like $5, a wired one on Amazon. Plug that into your phone. That'll help you out. There's tons of things out there, but what I want you to get from this is not that you should go to Amazon and just start buying all these things. I don't want you to get that out of what I'm talking about. I just want you to realize that if your lighting is somewhat good and your sound is somewhat good, you're okay. And you don't need to go and start investing in all these crazy things at this point. If your goal is just to, hey, I want to say something about this specific house, or hey, I want to talk about this specific thing or this park or whatever, people are not going to look at the park and go, "Ooh, look at the lighting at the park. Doesn't look as, good as the park that's, by this house or by that house." So don't worry too much about lighting and sound and whatnot. Do you want to say anything on that, Jason?
Yeah.
But I will say something differently on the interview aspect of the question.
Okay, good. You will? Okay, good.
Yes.
I would say with live, I think you're spot on. I think it boils down to, hey, listen, you don't have to have a prerequisite to going live. If you can hear what's being said, if you're on an airstrip and you hear airplane noise in the background, bad. Not going to work, to your point. If it's windy or whatever, bad. If it's dark and I can't see you, bad. But apart from those things, like, just go live. You don't even have to have like a stabilizer or a gimbal. Just hold your phone. That's what I do when I go live. However, I would say you can go to the Apple store. You could go to Amazon, and there are plenty of like little clip-on microphones. As far as gimbals go, like the DJI Osmo is the one you use. It's great. I think Moment has a great one as well. The Moment stick or whatever they call it it's just a stabilizer and a gimbal. It's a glorified selfie stick. That might be one tool. I think the lighting ring was a really great trick. And I think the lav mic, if you want to get one that's wired up, could be a great solution too. Something I saw that I thought was so cool the other day. I was at an event with Tom Ferry, and I noticed he always has a lav mic clipped on at all times now. And I thought it was awesome because that means Tristan is walking around with his camera and they are nonstop getting video content. So I'm like, the lav mic, if you want to create like massive amounts of content, like imagine showing properties and somebody's with you. I mean, I'm getting a little bit kind of grandiose here, but the potential is awesome. All right. So talk about interviews, Jonathan. What's the difference?
Yeah, so the difference between the live video and the interview, and again, there's no right or wrong, I guess, answer to this. But for example, we filmed a client testimonial yesterday, and we did a few different things than I normally would do if I just, was out in the field and I popped on my, phone and went onto Facebook Live. And the few different things are just realizing the fact that you're going to be using this audio in different ways, using this video in different ways. You do want to have higher quality lighting and higher quality video in those pre-recorded videos per se, because those videos, aren't live. They're going to be edited. They're going to go into, different pieces and whatnot. So for the interview aspect of it, I'm not quite sure if you meant, a business owner or a client or whatever it may be, but my suggestion is going to be the same, which is you're going to have to go just a little bit deeper into that in order to really showcase that specific business, in order to really showcase that specific park or museum or whatever it might be, just so that way people will want to watch it, as opposed to, hey, she's live and at the park. It's now this, this almost small production at the park or whatnot. The only caveat that I'm going to say, which I don't know, Jason might think differently, is
you're wrong. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
What I was going to say, if you don't have the equipment, like, don't tell your client, hey, you wanted to film a video testimonial, but I don't have this phenomenal equipment, so we're going to have to wait on that. Just film it. Just get whatever you can get on video. And, there's tons of ways to save videos as far as editing and whatnot is concerned. But, if the best thing that you have is your iPhone, that's already pretty good, by today's standards. So definitely use what you got. And as you want to, just get a little bit better, or take a couple more steps forward. Some of the things that I talked about as far as the Blue Yeti, the mic that Jason was talking about was a Rode RODE.
No, that one. Sorry. I got the Blue Snowball, which is
the one that as far as conferences, or as far as, just being followed around, wired or wireless with a receiver. There's tons of different things out there. Any more comments on the lighting and sound?
Yeah, I would say let's assume the scenario is you want to start interviews with a loan officer, with title rep, with business owners, that kind of a thing. I would look at what Ray Allen is doing. You mentioned Ray earlier. The Real QA Show, I think, is pretty much a really great presentation of what an interview series could look like aspirationally. It's got good video, good microphones, consistent. It happens at the same place all the time. So it's a consistent rinse and repeat kind of process. And then, hey, there was a question we saw on the feed. I think it was Mark Cook asked, I did a video interview for the first time home buyer and I'm only getting this one right now because it applies, I think. With the first time buyer we helped, is there a service you'd recommend for editing intros and outros? He's looking at Upwork. And so like, if you look at Ray's got the intro video. So it's the intro video. We call that a front bumper is typically the term for it. You could go to Upwork, you could go to Fiverr, Fiverr. And the things you're going to want to look for, like you could you could go on Fiverr and just search YouTube intro video. And that'll pretty much give you all the people who make those kinds of things. They're typically called a bumper. And there's also what's called a logo sting. A logo sting is just a real quick flash with a bit of noise that shows your logo and then back to video. So Mark, those are places you could look, Upwork and or Fiverr. Anything to add there, Jonathan?
No, I think, well, I know that I can continue to talk, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, what about time?
So yeah, again, anybody who, posted a comment with a question, we definitely appreciate it. I'm going to look at the comments that we have just to see who we missed. Jessica, see you. You just talked about Mark. Jessica said, it'd be great to hear y'all's thoughts on how to plan what to create a full post for and what to do a Facebook or Instagram story for.
Yeah. So we're going to do a post versus a story. Yep.
Yeah. So we're not going to get to that today because we'll talk for too long. Right now. But that's something that we will definitely make sure that we put into our poll as something to cover. And it's definitely, I already know it's one of the things that we're going to talk about, Jessica. So hopefully you continue to watch us every week and we will definitely get to it. You can shoot us a direct message if you have something that's pertinent right now, like, hey, I really need to know X between Y, and we can get to it. But as far as a full topic on the subject, we'll definitely get to it. Chuck, I see you. Great. Thank you for being on here. And Arthur as well. Arthur said, can you target market a live post which was done on my wall? Does it have to be done on my business page? Do you want to answer those quickly, Jason?
Can I target market a live?
Can you do an ad for a live video?
Not if it was on your personal profile. You can only do an ad boosting, or you can't pay Facebook money unless it's a business page, if that's what he's asking.
Okay, so that answers your first question,
However,
Arthur.
You could, if it had been a live video that was on the timeline of your page, certainly you could put money behind it and boost it.
So for instance, Arthur, this live video right now is on my business page. This video, I could then, yes, go ahead and create an ad based off of the video. So he also said, great content. We appreciate you. So yeah, that is it. This is our first week. So bear with us as far as our layouts and whatnot. We'll definitely.
We don't have a name.
What?
We don't have a name. But
yeah, we don't have a name, but we will. If you guys have some ideas on a name, definitely comment those as well. My name's Jonathan. His name is Jason. We were, trying to bounce something off with the 2 J's and marketing and this and that. So if you have ideas, we'd love to hear them. Chuck, last thing, said, can't wait to see the complete video because he wasn't here for the first part. And for anybody that, logged on halfway through or a quarter way or, for the last 5 seconds here, definitely go back, watch it. If you have comments about specific things that we talked about, still comment and we'll go back through and make sure we answer them. If you have questions or future ideas for topics, show names, hairstyling advice, I don't know, whatever it might be, you can definitely post it.
Awesome. This is fun, man.
Yeah. So again, this is on my Facebook page, but make sure that you go to Jason's page and show love on his page as well. You can find us also both on Instagram. Jason's is at Jason Pantana. Super easy. I wish mine was as easy, but I have 50 people with my name. So mine is Jonathan Hawkins and the word estates at the end of it. Claudia said the JoJo marketing hour. as far as names are concerned. I'm not sure if that one's going to work, but we'll talk about it. Marketing mentors. Okay, so thanks for all of the names. Jason, do you want to close us off, or any last pieces of advice?
No, this was fun. We're looking forward to comments. Let's connect. Like, we like doing this. We like talking about marketing. We love seeing agents and business owners absolutely crush it in their businesses. And we're both geeks at heart. So this is good. This is fun. Give us all the comments and questions. And let's see how far we can get and push our businesses forward. Have a great day, everybody. And Jonathan, thanks for hosting. We appreciate that, man. And I'll talk to you next week.
Later.
Later.